Hello everybody and welcome to Blue Goose Garage. I'm going to start this video out by saying that I probably should have finished painting the car before I showed you this, but I wanted to show you this because everything I've done on this car has been on this channel, and it's always been, a thing or two in a video. I didn't really want the paint job to be any different than that. And another thing, I would have preferred to paint this entire car at one time. I couldn't do that, and two reasons. The air compressor that I'm using to paint this car is really not big enough to go all the way around the car. If it was colder weather, it would be fine because you'd have more time to get around it before you had a dry spray. If I tried to paint this entire car right now, even with a bigger air compressor, the entire wherever you stopped painting, the part next to it would just be a chalkboard. It's too hot. It was in the 90s inside this garage today, and right now it's kind of cooled down a little bit. It's about 60 degrees right now, but earlier today it was, I think, 80, 75, 80 outside, and down here you're not really far away from a roof, so basically it's a giant oven, and paint's drying way faster than you have time to get all the way around something. So, excuses. A professional could do it with a boar hair brush and it looked better. Why is this guy making excuses on why he's having a half-ass shit? Kind of is what it is. Yesterday I painted this door and fender, and it turned out pretty good. It is at least 98% straight, and we only got two tiny little runs, just really, you can barely even see them. They're just barely there, but it turned out pretty good. It got some bugs in it. It happens. You're in a barn, and it's so clean in here. I don't know how you'd ever get any dust in anything. And today I did this fender, door, and the cowl, and that looks pretty good. I did a little bit better than on that side as far as the run goes, and it kind of, it's the same slickness. But we got a really small one here and a really small one here, and normally that would just kind of be what the car has, because I have never wet sanded, clear, and buffed anything I've ever painted. It's always ended up being out of the gun. That's just the way it is. But on this car this time, I'm going to try to do that just a little bit better. I'm going to try to get the specs out of it. I want to try to get the runs off of it. And I'm not really worried about any of the orange peel that it has, because the car is not supposed to be a new car. I'm not going for a new car. Like I've said before, this is a 70s respray, somebody did for somebody else. It's not supposed to be professional. It's supposed to be as good as I can get it, and it is, I think. Now we have to hope that the quarters and the roof turns out that good. Mostly the quarters. This side looks pretty good, I've not got the hood ready yet. There's a car show I'm wanting to go to, and basically the hood's going to be in primer for that. Everything else should be painted, and everything else should be done. I'm wanting to do that black fade down the side. I'm going to do that, which is why this is really not a big deal, because I have to re-sand the center of the car anyway to do the fade and then re-clear. So those ain't going to hurt anything. It looks pretty good to me. I'm very satisfied with how this is looking. And if you've watched a lot of my videos, you'll remember that this fender was that red fender that was bent real bad in the front. It had a kink here, and that looks pretty good. fingers crossed that this will turn out like these did. But like I was saying about the heat a minute ago, it's going to be really hard to get from one quarter across the roof and down to the other quarter without dry spraying the roof or this quarter or wherever you start. If you start over here or over there, it's going to be really hard to not overspray this side by spraying the other side because it's drying too fast. Even with slow hardener and clear, it's drying too fast. Tell me what you think. I mean, to me, that is definitely better than it's ever been with me. And I had Dad to look at it. He said it's better than it was when he bought it, and it's better than it was after they painted it. I asked him how long he thought how long he thought this car's been rough, and he said, probably 70 or 69 or 70 or something. You know, it was a repo, so it was beat up. So it's probably the best all this stuff has looked since this car was new. And even that ain't perfect, you know. It's got some problems, but it's a lot better than it was. The next time you see the car, I might try to show you painting the quarters and roof. I might set the phone up and let it see that, but chances are I'll just, fix the quarters and roof, and I might show you painting the trunk lid or something, because I'm doing the quarters and roof first or the trunk lid first. Either one. I'm not painting everything at once. The quarters and roof has to be painted at the same time. The trunk lid can be painted at a different time. All because, like I said, the less I can paint at a time, the more of an opportunity I have for it to turn out shiny. And then after all this is painted and the sides are resanded a little bit, I'm going to do the fade in a future video and clear that. And after all this is done, the only thing that won't be is this hood. And this hood may never be blue. This hood may end up being satin black. I normally wouldn't do that because that's more of a Dodge thing. But this hood's not ever going to be perfect. It's not ever going to be perfect. And even if it was, it would rust out somewhere else. Remember, it's only paying the rent on it. I own the car. I don't own my time with it. You're only renting that. So the hood may never be blue. This may end up being black. The other hood I've got might end up being the nice hood. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Bye.